What can I say? It's more Tezca time. I'm just having a blast with this character, but today I'm doing something a bit different. Normally, whenever a new character comes out, I see what their stats are going to be, I see what their stances are going to be, and then I just pick one. That's it. Till the end of my days, that's all I'm using. I don't even try the other ones when I unlock them. But today, let's change that. Let's do a little bit of experimentating. I'm going to spoil this right away and just tell you by the end of this, I will be very, very shocked if I don't end up using the strength stance. That just seems to be my favorite one. So if that answer is the only one you're looking for, then there you go. I don't want to waste anyone's time, but I'm just telling you, that's probably what it's going to end up being. I do think it's worth it to try all of them though, just because I haven't done that before. I'll probably end up playing a few of each weapon here just to try them out, just to see how everything works, how fun everything is. Those first couple games notwithstanding, I'll start counting on this one. Also, you may have noticed I have Animal Crossing in the background. It's just a website that plays the same song every hour, so right now it's 5 p.m. and it's probably going to stay 5 p.m. for the whole video. I was starting to get a bit peeved about having to adjust the music volume on every map, so I just decided I'm gonna do this. And I'm in a good mood now. Animal Crossing music tends to do that. I almost try to catch that again. I don't know if I'll be able to hit them down into this. They'll have to come down here and I'll have to like nair or something. No, I don't. I'm gonna boost. I thought that would work. Regardless, I'm getting off track here. The base stance is very good. Most base stances kind of fit archetypes pretty well, and I gotta say, this one just makes sense. A lot of power, which you don't necessarily feel with the battle boots because they don't deal the most amount of damage. That wasn't a good idea. But certainly on the gauntlets and certainly with his signatures, 8 strength or 7 strength, I think is his base stance, is it's quite powerful. And then the rest of it being straight up in the middle, fairly balanced with 555 on the rest of the stats. It just makes sense, right? If you're a hand-to-hand combat fighter who's also a bit bulky, those stats line up, and I think it feels nice. I'm just realizing that because I'm listening to this right now, it's gonna like cut every time I cut. I'll put it on a different audio track. It'll be fine. I'll make this the last base game just because it's standard. We know what to expect. That I don't think was a true combo. That's insane. I didn't think I'd get hit by that because I didn't really know where I was, if I'm gonna be real, but probably could have gotten a kill if I just spaced a tiny bit better. It's a learning process. I want to see if I can do something kind of wacky where I do a bit of an unconventional combo setup, like a downlight into downer like I did against the Queen Knight, and then see if I can get a bit of a reset off of that against this other Tezca player, because that is a true combo. Oh, that went off stage, unfortunately. But I did get a few extra hits from it, looks like, so that was nice. Let's see if I can maybe bait out a dodge with it. I'm going to end up dying just because I'm going for this one thing, but I mean, that's how it goes sometimes. Don't kill, don't kill, don't kill. That's okay. Achoo, I sneezed. I'm now purple with 6556, missing out on 1 from strength. It's actually quite fitting I'm on speed right now. Yup, I saw my phone light up. My laundry. Okay, stop. I gotta take out my laundry, which will mean actually that the hour mark will probably change and we'll get a new song here. I want to get a wall combo. We'll see if I end up dying for it though. They're not jumping, but all I need is 1. All I need is 1. Nice. Yeah, I really do feel like the 6 speed is great. You're just zip-zapping all over the map, and so leaping back and forth and everything like that is very nice when you have that additional point. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Okay. I thought I was a genius, but it turns out I'm just another fool. But you know, maybe there's a genius in recognizing our own faults and failures and trials and tribulations. That was really close. I think I'm good though. 6 speed. I'm all the way back. I made it all the way back to the lip of the stage. That was kind of surprising. I can leap back and forth. I don't know why I did that. In my head, I was going to down sig, and then I did end sig instead. Now I'm edge guarded by scythe. Not a good idea. You know what? I'm going to make up for it. Ready? I don't think they're dead. Blame the 6 strength, okay? Had I been in the strength stance... Okay, wait, actually, they are still dead. That aside, I do feel like losing out on the strength could be a big deal, because it's not just 1 point you're missing out on. Because again, I think strength is probably going to be the one I'm going to run. It's 2 points. That could be a difference maker. Maybe you're towards the edge. Maybe you're only a couple interactions away from getting a guaranteed knockout or something like that. And those interactions are huge. Winning neutral less times is pretty nice. Then again, more speed gives you more utility and more options and more freedom to win those neutral interactions. So it is a trade-off, I suppose, like everything else. I really hope they don't change downlight stun at all, or at least remove some of the true combos, because I really like that it has a bunch of true combos that are kind of weird, like that one. Like that end light wasn't true, but because I had set up kind of weirdly with that dare, which most people don't do, I feel like I was able to land it. It's something I've done a couple times now against the Chell, against the Queen Nai. Every time now with the new end screen, I get spooked because it removes you if you're in the hourglass. I thought I died. Did I just say hourglass? Spyglass is what I meant, or magnifying glass, either or. Also, can I say how nice it is to get this map and then I'm gonna die. I'm actually dead. Oh, bye-bye. And then not be concerned about the music is what I was gonna say. I actually almost died again. I think it's their turn now, so yeah. It's like a dopamine serotonin hit that I'm not like adjusting the music volume or anything, I gotta tell you. I didn't know which direction they dodged because it was in that hourglass. I'm gonna do one more with speed just because I'm kind of joshing around a little bit. I don't feel like I'm necessarily thinking about it all too much, and I'm putting mines on the ceiling and trying to grab a weapon so I can combo into it, which I don't anyway. It doesn't matter. I wonder if I can get a combo with this. They didn't dip far down enough. That's okay. Overall, I'm liking this one a lot, although I guess I did really expect to. It's speed. What can you expect? I just like zooming around, but like why did I do that? I'm having a good time. I was gonna say I'm not really known for the best decisions, but that was a great decision. That down air also was a great decision. I do like the freedom it gives you, but I don't know. Just something about missing those 2 points that I would have in strength, it feels like a big deal to me. Maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm crazy, but the 5 speed with the battle boots feels like it's sufficient. I wouldn't say it's intelligently amazing. I don't know why I put the word intelligent in there. That's definitely not a self-descriptor. Between this and base, 100% definitely prefer the speed. Between this and strength, we have yet to see. I'm gonna see if they can make it back here. I want to try something. If I hit a downlight by the ledge here, I guess not. I don't know what is going on with the RNG of these maps. I'm getting Fang Wild way too much, but I'm on the defense now. What was that? Right off the bat, I can tell you, I don't like this one. It's 4 speed, which especially after just playing with 6 feels especially bad, but all that fluidity, all that bounce you get, it just feels off. It's weird because you have less speed, but it feels more slippery. Like you have less control and you're just sliding around and your momentum's all whack. I don't know. I don't think it's like you get different distance or anything from those moves, but me no likey. But maybe I can try and hit the thing that I was gonna hit at the end of the last game where I do this, yeah, off stage. Yup. The theory behind that is everyone's expecting me to go for a side air, so instead I go for a reverse down air, putting them in a position where they didn't think they were going to be, and then maybe I could get a weird gimp off of it because they start panic jumping. Speaking of panic jumping, that's what I just did. It's funny because I have an extra point in defense, but it feels like I'm getting hit more because I'm not in the positions I want to be and I'm too slow. I'm about to die twice in a row. It honestly feels like more of a disadvantage of a stance. But also keep in mind that I'm biased. I love high speed, so that's something that you should probably consider. It does feel off though, I will say, because a lot of battle boots is about that horizontal movement and getting all the spacing right and everything, and you just can't do it as well in this stance. It's mathematically true. You have less aerial drift, you have less move speed on the ground, unless you're dashing, but you're not going to be dashing 24/7, and also airspeed's more important than that anyway. I think I got what I needed to get from this one. It's not really my thing. I could maybe see if you're playing 2s or something, you want to tank more hits, it could be an option, but even then, I feel like having more move speed, even 1 extra point, allows you to evade danger way more. So out with the old, in with the new. On the dexterity stance now, which if you don't know dexterity, I have a whole video on it, but essentially it means that you're waiting less time after you whiff most of the time. Sometimes it's also less time after you hit, but that tends to be fewer and further between. At least fewer and further between when it actually matters. I think there's some mathematical values there to consider, but most of the time it's not the most impactful stat. Except sometimes it is the most impactful stat, and that's when things get a bit complicated. Again, I've made a whole video on that. I don't need to reiterate all that. I'm not necessarily a fan of this one on paper because it takes away from defense. Being on 4 defense is not always the best situation, but who knows, maybe you can access a bunch of true combos on decks that you can on anything else, and I haven't done those calculations. I don't know if anyone has because it's such a new weapon, but if that is the case, then decks, yeah, there could be an argument for it, but as it is right now, my tier list, it's gonna be on the lower end. I feel like the value of 1 defense stat is so high that I don't know if this is gonna be worth it, trading in a little bit less recovery time. I think they're dead. That is crazy, that carriage power going on to baggage claim 6C. I'm gonna be honest, this is probably gonna be the hardest one to judge, and maybe the one that doesn't age the best if we're talking about long term, just because the weapon is so new, and I'm already not really used to all the recovery times. Like if, I don't know, Orb Sidelight, for example, suddenly got +2 extra recovery frames on miss, I would be able to notice that, simply because I'm just used to it. I'm used to how it's supposed to feel, and so if it feels off or it feels different, it's unusual, and I can notice that difference. But for me, battle boots are just too new for that. The fact that that killed is kind of ludicrous, by the way. They were like in yellow, and they're dead too. What I will say is that if there isn't some kind of crazy additional damage combo or anything like that, I don't really think it's necessarily, at least in this current state, I didn't wall touch, to run this right now, because losing out on defense, especially when you're clocking from 5 to 4, 5 is like the golden number. Most of the time you really don't want to go below that, and so for me, I'm not feeling it. I know that Dex is not a big deal on gauntlets at all, so it's mostly the battle boots, and I will say that battle boots kind of feel fluid enough on their own. I don't feel like this extra boost is giving me anything. Again, very limited. It's super early on, so maybe I'll have to redo this sometime in the future, but we'll see. Can I maintain both the bomb and my weapon? No, I can't. There's not enough time for that. But it was a bait to get the better angle. What am I? I had the perfect ground pound. Instead, I go for the GC down sig? Okay, well, all that said about dexterity being a bit of a wonky stat, I'm perfectly happy to throw one of them away, because we're on the big boy stance now. Strength makes you into 8, 4, 5, 5, which is terrifying. Not as terrifying as slide charging right into another tezca, but terrifying nonetheless. Before I talk about it more, though, I need redemption. I gotta toss this one up. No! Okay, I'm glad I caught that in time. I thought I was about to run into it. It would have been very embarrassing. That one was on purpose. That's what I'm gonna tell myself. What strength does is it applies a little bit of a modifier to your attack, so you just deal a bit more damage, and then also it's a force modifier, so you hit a little bit harder with the big hitting attacks. And what that means is you just have to win neutral less times. You have to play the game less, hit your opponent less to get the same result, which in a fighting game, of course, is very valuable because you're playing against another human that's also trying their best to win neutral interaction after neutral interaction. I'm just gonna keep doing it until it works. Thank you very much. Here's something kind of interesting though. Now that I've played all of them, if you ask me which felt the best and which feels the best, it's no question. It's speed, 100%. Also, they wall touch there. I did not think they did. This edge guard is still going on. Okay, we're good. It's 100% speed. If you blind taste tested me, Pepsi, Coke, Diet Soda, I 100% take speed every time. That is not a great sentence out of context, but I do. It just gives you so much fluidity and control, and it just feels great. But that's not the one I'm gonna be picking. I was trying to get a wall combo there, that's probably why that happened. But regardless, if this was in a vacuum and the only thing that mattered was the moment to moment, how does this feel right now, then yeah, I'd go for speed 10 out of 10 times. But that's not really the case. These stances don't exist in a vacuum, and so that kind of changes my decision. If we consider dexterity to not really matter all too much, that's crazy, then it changes things around, right? It means that the value gained from strength is like +1 whole stat, whereas the value gained from speed is +1 -1. That wouldn't matter all too much if the stat it was trading for wasn't the other one, but that's just how the math for the stances worked out, I suppose. It's how the cookies crumbles when they Merry Christmas. Like I said earlier, playing speed in lieu of strength is like dropping 2 whole status tax. And those 2 points can really matter, especially on string weapons that don't deal the most amount of damage per hit, like gauntlets, like the battle boots. Not gonna get, okay, check this out. The mega angle! It missed. So that's what I mean when I say it's not just a vacuum. The trade-off, or the cost, if you want to call it that, of playing speed isn't just -1 stat, it's also the opportunity to lock in the strength stance. So for me, even though, like I said, speed felt the best, I feel like I gained so much. Something wacky is gonna happen. This is mine here. I gained so much from strength. Don't ask what happened there. That's what I'm gonna lock in. And I'm happy with that choice. Just to close things out here, let me just give you a quick rundown of my thoughts. Strength, speed, I put those at a high viability tier, very good. Base, I'd put next. I think in terms of base and strength, I feel like strength is kind of an upgrade. After that, I'd put dex, unless there's some really wacky, weird combos we don't know about yet. It feels like missing out on defense is pretty bad. And then finally, at the lowest, I'd put defense. Not a fan of force speed personally. If that's your jam, that's your Jamba Juice. Play what you want though, enjoy what you want. This was super fun. I definitely would not have done this at all if I wasn't making a video, so I'm glad I did.